You're listening to The Talent Sync, a collaborative podcast production about anything and everything recruiting and hiring. Literally the kitchen sink on how all things in talent acquisition work together, should work together, and how sometimes they don't. Now it's time to sync up with your hosts, Leah Daniels and Kevin Grossman. Today's episode is about the bad taste of AI recruiting angst. Enjoy the podcast. Leah, hello, welcome. We are now past the midpoint of the year, but still kind of in the heart of summer. So great to see you. How are you doing?
I am fabulous. I am, we were just talking about this. I'm very experiencing the New England joys of the weather. So
Yes,
100 degrees or 50 like we have tonight. Uh, but we're making good strides and a lot is happening this summer. I feel like it's a very active summer in the recruiting industry.
it is. It is. It's but just to touch on our weather, we have had not, we don't have those extremes on this end on this side of the states on this in our end of the coast. I can say that without tripping over my own tongue, right? This
Sure.
side on the West Coast, they can just say that. Just say West
Yeah.
Coast, Kevin. There you go. When we're usually right now we're getting like it's foggy, cool in the mornings, and we're hitting 60 to 70. That's about it. From morning till the end of the day. But there you go. Real quick though, I went to the dentist and I will not rehash my dental history with you like I did before we started. I promise I won't do that. But everything's good. I just wanted to let you know that my checkup was good. Everything's good. I'm in good
Oh,
shape.
good.
Okay.
I was
So
worried.
just wanted to get that out there. And no AI was used in the cleaning of my teeth.
I feel like that's a place where AI actually has a chance because my dentist has this like camera thing, which by the way, I love that
Right.
dental technology has come so far. And that feels like they're gonna stick that bad boy in your mouth at the
That's
beginning
true.
and it's gonna like light up on the screen all sorts of colors and you're gonna look at it and be terrified. You're like, why is the screen all these colors? And they're like, oh, it's just telling us about future decay of your teeth. You should probably pay for something right now.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of gadgets that our dentist has. Thank God it's not that yet,
Oh,
though.
oh.
But you never know. But yes, there's a lot going on in the recruiting space. A lot. We can't throw a rock or drop a rock at our feet without hitting AI these days. Good, bad, indifferent, all in between. A
Yep.
lot of noise, a lot of buzz, a lot of claims being made
Yes.
about AI. What on one side, a lot of misunderstanding of AI on the other side. But so, what say you? What are we going to talk about today?
Well, let's just put it out there.
Yep.
The Perplexity CEO says that
Yes.
Comet, its newest what do they call it? An AI operating system.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is going to take over recruiters' jobs in 6 months. No more recruiters. Death to the recruiters. They're all gone. I don't know. It seems like a little bit of a ridiculous thing to say.
But it does, and there's also been a lot of backlash about it too. If you've any of this, just find any stream on LinkedIn right now about that, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of like, no, 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 that's not going to happen. That's hogwash. And of course, anybody in TA, I do understand, are getting very much like I've had enough fear baiting as it is to date. If I've been in recruiting for any length of time, and now this person's coming out and saying that, but you know what I saw was interesting about this was that I don't know, Andrew Godomsky runs Aspen Advisors, data scientist, data
Yep.
analytics.
Yep.
He was commenting on a thread. It was a really good point because if what this Perplexity CEO was saying, or anybody who makes that claim, right, that how you can't the way with LinkedIn's, guardrails around how who and what can access their data
Yep.
and being something that's being still used a lot by recruiters, right? We talk about price increases later, just like with Indeed, but they're still being used a lot. But letting other bots access, I mean, it's just not one of those things. it's not going to happen. He was reminding me of like I guess the high Q. Do you remember that high Q suit
Oh
against
yeah.
LinkedIn?
Yep.
Um, that kind of set the precedent going forward for now. And I just know, I mean, even trying to do backdoor into a system like LinkedIn, do you like I don't know if there's a system called app called Dripify. Have you ever heard of this?
I don't think I know this one, but so many.
Dripify. So anyway, just long story short, Dripify is something that allows you to you access your LinkedIn account and allows you to automate connection requests.
Oh,
And it sets it to where like you can set it below the threshold that LinkedIn allows for you
well,
to
except
send.
for just to be clear, LinkedIn doesn't allow you to use tools like Dripify. That is a
S-
violation of your user
By the
terms.
by the way, well, this is where I'm going with this. Okay, I'm telling a little story. I don't
Okay,
use
sorry,
it
sorry,
right.
sorry. Mhm.
Just like no, just everybody at LinkedIn, nobody get up in arms. Please don't check my account. It's been many years now, but I did use it, and it worked great until suddenly I got that little note, and I couldn't access my account.
Yep.
You have been cut off, and then I'm like, okay, then basically stopped using it, but because it was still connected, I almost lost my LinkedIn account. This is about 4 or 5 years ago now, something like
Yeah.
that. And never have ever the only time I ever used anything like that, and I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to jeopardize the network that I have again by doing something dumb like that. I mean, I know they want me to pay for Sales Navigator and do things manually. I get that because they want the revenue, et cetera. But oh man, they shut me down big
Yeah.
time.
Well, it's interesting,
Anyway,
right? So
yeah,
Perplexity comes out. He says we're going to source candidates for because we because AI can do that. And you know, depends on what you mean by the word source. And I think this is actually part of the problem. What do you mean by recruiter? What do you mean by executive assistant? What do you mean by sourcing?
sure.
If you mean crawling Google, Reddit, or anything else and looking for names and building a list, sure, I bet AI can help you do that. In fact, I went over to ChatGPT the other day and asked it to tell me give me the list of CHROs in a certain city and in a certain industry, and it did. It produced me a list. I was like, "Whoa, ChatGPT, you've come far."
And I didn't even have to use AI to do that in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I had to do it
Right,
myself, set it up, but it doesn't matter. I can still go set that
right.
up and then it just and then it automates and runs and then updates my list, right?
But then
That's not even AI.
Right. But then if we mean by sourcing, it's going to then automate writing emails and phone calls and sending those to candidates. Let's say that that's what we mean by sourcing, because I don't know what he means by sourcing. Now we get into some tricky water, right? Because now we've moved from like an activity that you might be doing on the web to outbound using telephone, using email. Do you
Right.
have permission? Right? I think this is a big thing. TCPA in particular says, no, 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 do not make that phone call with a robotic product that does not have permission yet. And I think these are the pieces where legislation and these tools are so far away from each other, and the people building the tools are not paying attention to the legislation because they don't care.
No, they
Because
they don't care, and sometimes the legislation has not caught up either. Some of it's already
sure.
there. I get that. Like this one's on the books, but yet I'm still getting, during election season, I'm getting robocalls
Oh yeah,
that I
all the
didn't
time.
that I didn't sign up for.
Well, that's all exceptions too, right? So always a good time. But but don't you think people are starting to get a bad taste in their mouth about AI right now?
Huge, huge bad taste in their mouth, especially if they're job candidates. Um,
Right.
Especially if they're even current employees that are being squeezed to do more with less and to leverage it. I mean, I can't. How many times have you already seen like certain companies are like, part of our performance review is that you have to show me how you're using AI in your
Right.
job today? Which again, it's like I understand that there's this line between being able to leverage tools and resources more efficiently in the work that you do. I get that. That's not, but it's like that it is definitely leaving a bad taste. And what did you just tell me too before we come
Oh,
on, that you had a
I
friend
was
that
yeah, I have a nephew. He's a recent college graduated with a
nephew, yeah.
3.9 bright kid, uh, finance. He's applying to jobs. He's getting rejected immediately, probably because all recent graduates are really struggling using
Yes, they are.
standard application methods to get that first job, right? And he says to me, "It's the AI. It keeps rejecting me." I'm like, "It's definitely not the AI." And he's like, "It's
Right.
the AI."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Who have you applied to?" And he gave me a whole string of companies that I'm familiar with the names. You're familiar with their names. They're big finance companies.
Yeah.
I was like, "It's definitely not rejecting you on step one with an AI." And he's like, "No, I'm totally being rejected by the AI." And I was like, "Okay, but I think you don't understand how this works, and I do. Like, trust me on this. It's not the AI. You are being rejected. Don't get me wrong. That is
Yes.
absolutely 100% happening. You are also the, I don't know, 2000th kid who just graduated, who just applied for a
Yeah.
job with that big name company. Like, you have to recognize what's happening in your world right now is that you're applying for jobs that are highly competitive against your peers, and you're probably late to the party on some of these.
Yeah. And there are fewer jobs. I
There
mean,
are fewer
on
jobs.
fewer jobs on average. I mean, some of the candy organizations across industries that are still hiring right now that I've talked to in check-in calls, et cetera, that they're all hire most of them hiring is down for them. I mean, there's fewer racks that they have out there. They're not frozen like during COVID time, but they're definitely are lower on how many positions they have open right now. And even though I know that layoffs, there was another interesting article. I know that we're kind of weaving around this thing, but I like the idea of this theme of this show being leaving a bad taste, right? Because
Yeah.
I think the so two things. Well, one is I can't not talk about the astronomer CEO and the HR. I know. Sorry. I was going to try to avoid bringing that up. And I'm laughing not at them because I think it's actually this is we're kind of shameful where we're at as a society, and I didn't want to get all in my soapbox right now.
Okay.
But that aside though, just the meme factory, the
Oh
AI
my
meme
God.
factory, it's just like
Well,
on overdrive with that one. But I mean, so that aside, the whole thing about your nephew, right, who
yep.
thought AI is doing this to me. I've seen a couple of, again, anecdotal, but I've seen a couple of posts from folks on LinkedIn, TA folks that actually did have a few folks that did have AI interviews or screenings. I don't think they're really interviews per se. Maybe the whoever the vendor is coming, but that most of the experiences were awful. One person hung up because it was just so painful to get through. I
Yep.
think I only saw one positive response. Again, this is not scientific at all. I don't have a lot of data on it, just a few things that I've seen. One person did say they had but it was a positive experience and they got to the next level. But most of the things I've seen are just that it's been awful. But it's just really is leaving a bad day. And the going back to your whole thing about the TCPA, nothing's happened. That's not going to stop anything, though, right? I mean, who's enforcing that? And this
Well, that,
administration.
okay, that's a good question. Who will enforce it? But it's interesting because while I sort of got exasperated with my nephew, I'm like, it's not the AI rejecting you. It is, in fact, the AI impacting you, right? So we need to separate out the AI
Sure.
rejection from the
Agreed.
impaction because, the World Economic Report came out, or World Economic Forum came out recently with this future of jobs. And you and I have talked about this. I've been talking about this for 8, 9 months now, that entry level positions where you cut your teeth and you learn how to be a human in a company and you do manual work so you can learn actually the stuff, the guts of a business and how it all works. Those are the positions that are being eliminated. In fact, they're predicting that 92 million jobs are going to disappear, right? Because of AI, while also in the same breath going, but we might see 170 million created. And that I think is the piece, right? You kind of have to go through the collapse and the consolidation before you get to the
True.
creation piece, right? We have small bits of that are creating, but I think that, longer term, we will have more and more. But right now, we are in that uncertain time where businesses are saying, I can operate at 20% less, 40% less people. Let's go try it, see what happens. And the first step on that isn't actually layoffs, right? It's just don't hire net new. Take a moment, see if we can operate with the current skeleton crew we've got before we start to lay off. And I think the last thing that's super important in all of this hoopla, jobs report came out, right? Said we still added 150,000 jobs
Yeah.
in June. We're not, we're like, it's a really interesting place in time that we're at right now where the emotions are very different than the reality of the on like a on a bigger scale. Now on an individual scale, you still feel like the AI just rejected me from my
Well, and it's
job opportunity.
you're so right about that, but we're also in a place. This is God, this is like a doll within a doll within a doll multiverse right now because we're like there is a lot of frustration and perception of truth and reality is at an all-time low too. So when you every time now, so like not only did we have a solid jobs report, the 2 months before that were actually written up, not down. You're listening to the Talent Sync. Keep on sinking. With us, not really sync with us. Thank you. What do your candidates think of your recruiting process? The annual Candy Benchmark Research and Awards program helps you and your organization measure and understand your overall candidate experience ratings from pre-application to onboarding. Benchmark your candidate experience today. Go to surveil.com/candies, CANDES. But how many posts did I see? How many people did I see? People that I even know in the industry that are saying, heck, well, I don't believe the jobs reports anymore. Literally,
Okay.
I mean, no, I'm
I
just
know, but
saying,
what do you do with that? I don't know.
well, but see, but isn't this part of, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, now I'm getting a little existential too,
Mm,
but I mean, where we're at in when there is not only is there's not one level of truth for the majority of people, there's just disbelief everywhere on every
right.
angle. And now you have AI, misperceptions and misconceptions, and AI being used against us as
Yeah.
well. And it's only gonna, I mean, unfortunately, further exacerbate that. I mean, just what you said about your nephew, it is a almost every company that is participating in our research this year, their candidates are saying it is AI is screening me out. Every more than I've ever seen in any year we've ever done this
Yep.
before. They believe all of that. But I mean, so we can the TCPA can't, who's going to enforce that, right?
Yep.
And this person, the CEO for Perplexity, yes, maybe, I mean, we already know that TA is being squeezed anyway. It has been for the past few years. And AI maybe is part of that, to your point about like some entry level jobs going away. Although there are many industries that are desperately need to be rebooting apprenticeships and internships because they're losing, and AI is not going to make up for that. And manufacturing is one in particular, actually, but that's another
Hmm.
conversation. So I mean, what's the deal? I mean,
Well,
I don't believe TA is going to be wiped out in 6 months. I
I
just
mean,
don't believe it.
I definitely don't think that. I think if you think about this logically for a second, so candidates are skeptical, they're a little angry. Now you
Very, oh,
bring in,
they're very frustrated. Actually, not as frustrated, believe it or not, in our data from last year, but they're still
yeah,
frustrated.
it's
Anyway,
up there. So then you add in the replacement of a human to a full-bodied, is that the right word? AI recruiter. Empty
able-bodied,
body? Empty body?
able-bodied. I
Empty
don't know.
body.
No,
No body.
able-bodied,
No, no, no
able-bodied.
body. No, it's definitely no body.
Okay. Anyway, oh, nobody. Okay, got it.
Ah,
Sorry, we were going opposite directions. All right, got it.
so the no body AI recruiter is going to call you and you're going to decide if you're going to get this job or not. How is that? Like, how does that work? how do you, as a business, justify asking your candidates to go through an experience in which they talk to no humans? And the best part or worst part of this
That's already
perplexity
happening in high
quote,
volume, by the way, in high volume.
but
And
this is for, he's
and
talking about white collar positions.
yeah, I
He's
know.
talking about high
I know.
skill, right? Hyper collaborative roles where you have to be able to interact with other humans and AIs and be able to do a specific job with some sort of predictability.
It,
I think it's going to be a really interesting problem to try to challenge anyone to solve with an AI. I don't know if it's possible.
I agree with you, and that's why I don't think. I mean, that's not going to happen. No, not where we're at today. There's not. Uh, and again, you go. You know, I hear all the different. I'm seeing all the different sides. You know, you have a lot of the CEOs and founders of AI companies are pushing the narrative that I we will wipe out these jobs. This is going to happen. Entry level is going away, knowledge worker. And then you've got other voices, Josh Bersin and others and even some economists and even some AI folks that are pushing back a little bit and saying, no, I don't think it's going to happen. I read another post. I didn't actually make a note of it, so I can't share it, but it was an AI startup CEO that was saying, no, I think this is all hogwash, that we're not wiping out all the jobs in the next year. That's not going to happen. They were going along the path that you were talking about that eventually will be creating more jobs. So I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, right? All of us can speculate till we're freaking blue in the face. But no, for that kind of level of interaction that has to occur when you're hiring even salary to management level positions, and I mean, even hourly positions that are high sought after manufacturing skills. The list goes on. AI is not going to do it right now. I just don't believe it. And I've seen a lot of tech. I've used it. And I'm sure you have as well. I just don't believe it's not going to happen. I know it's getting exponentially smarter
Yep.
and better, but it's getting exponentially smarter and better. What was the distinction I heard? To to do stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, just to do stuff.
It's I will say, right, there is a tremendous opportunity for and this is kind of what I think the Perplexity CEO is kind of saying, to do the manual tasks. It's been replacing for us for years. Automation's been replacing some of these
Yes,
manual
that is
tasks.
correct. That's correct.
The AI is the new name for automation most of the time. Will it do things like um, schedule appointments? Yeah, absolutely. That's going to happen. Are you going to let it book your flight to Europe and plan your European trip? I mean, I let it plan my European trip the other day. It did a pretty good job. Am I going to let it put my credit card in it and book the
No,
book
I'm
all of it?
not.
Absolutely freaking no,
No,
no, no, no. There's a
no.
line for me, and because I we need to go check and make sure all those places that it suggested are real, because a couple of them weren't. So we're still there, right? We're still in this place where it can do some of the research. I will say, like, it was kind of nice. I was like, plan me an 8-day trip. I want to
Sure,
go see castles in Scotland. Go. And it did. It did a really good job. It
sure.
gave me a starting place. It gave us places to go, give choices. Like I think it actually did travel agents who do those kinds of planning, that might be something that is at risk. Executive assistants that have to figure some of this stuff out, maybe, but I don't think it's going to replace a really good executive assistant. Like a really good EA is more than somebody that books your meetings and books your flights. I think that
Yeah.
EAs do a lot about keeping the CEO prioritized, organized. There's just a lot more that goes into the job. And I think the role, the recruiter role, the EA role, the Perplexity CEO is talking about is being mischaracterized based on what they actually do in real life versus how he's formed it in order to have this headline that he can run.
You know, it's almost like, and I know people who develop AI probably are like, "Oh, Kevin, you're dumbing it down right now," but I'm not trying to do that. But I'm like, it's to me in my personal usage and what I see also on a business level, even is that it's it's creating a super fast, efficient self-service thing, right? That is. but we've already been, like, speaking of travel, right? We've already had the ability for many, many, many years now to do our own online searches. Yes, it's a little bit more time to pull that information together to search for the best flights and rates on the different travel sites that are Travelocity. The list goes on. We've been able to do that for a while, and now it's actually helping to pull all those pieces together, which is great. But I mean, when it comes to, and at the human level right now, and I go back think about hiring again and the high volume hiring that we're all the way up to job offer. Some of the vendors in the space offer this, right? There's some of like the high volume hiring around hospitality and restaurants, where it's mostly done, and then right up to that point. But I mean, I don't for more intricate, harder, even evergreen positions that are at the salary professional level. I just, like you were saying, I just don't see that happening now. But again, in 5 to 10 years, I might be eating crow on what we have and how advanced the technology is going to be. But I just feel like that the bad taste in our mouth continues to be served up to us as consumers, as candidates, as professionals, but I don't know, that just kind of feels that way, right? And whether we want to believe that or not, it just feels like, I know from a candidate's perspective, I don't think I could convince any candidates anymore that when I know that the majority of companies aren't using AI for selection, that nobody's going to believe me.
No.
Just like what happened with your nephew, they're not going to believe me. And that may be different in 5 years, right?
Well,
When there's better guardrails, there's better regulations, which I don't know right now what's gonna happen with that. Um, but I don't, I'm just like, I just think we're at a really continue to be at this disruptive inflection point. I'll use as many buzzwords now as I can, Leah.
yes.
But
Pour them on.
we're just at this place where, yes, we're already seeing displacement. Automation always does that. Um,
Always has.
always
Has
has, and it's not
beginning
new.
of time.
It's not new. I know that since the beginning of time. But I know TA is getting squeezed. I just can't. It's not disappearing in 6 months. It's not, the humans, I mean. It's just not. I just can't see that happening. I
Well,
think
and
anybody. Go ahead.
I think the funniest part of all of this for me, maybe this is a good place to land, is if you're going to join a company, you are a high value worker, white collar worker, you are compensated well for your time, you do really good work, whatever it might be, even if you are a blue collar worker, doesn't really matter. But your only conversation with the company is with an AI. Do you want to work there?
No. I
Do
mean,
you want?
so if I'm now, if I have been now, that it depends on who you're asking to, though, right, Leah? Because I agree with
Sure.
you. No, I
Good
mean, I
point.
agree with you, but it depends on who you're asking, right? Because remember again, years ago when Amazon was the most toxic place in the world to work at, but people still wanted to work for Amazon, and they still work for Amazon, and they're still one of the biggest companies in the world. Right. And I think with a lot of new grads today in the market that they're in, if the only way through the door is through AI and I want the job,
Maybe.
I may not like it, but I mean,
But how long will you have the job?
I know that's what I mean. I don't know. That's right. I mean, that's another really good point too. And by the way, some of these folks like, what's Mark Benoff and others that have been on one side of their mouth was saying, yeah, we're gonna, 40% of our administrative tasks are being automated now by AI. Oh, but wait, though, I'm not saying that I'm wiping out all the human positions. No, wait,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a fascinating time. It's a scary time, actually. besides all the other things that are going around us, but just the fact that I can't imagine being a new grad right now this year. I mean, it's worse than even during COVID, based on what things the data I've read right now.
Yeah. I
So
think that
anyway,
I think it's and I think that they, you know, it's kind of like many things. If you don't understand what's happening, you don't really know, you hear the rumors and you lean into
right.
that. And the new grads are hearing that the AI is rejecting them, so that's what they're seeing. And
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the fact that the majority of the roles that are opening will go to someone either more qualified who's already been has work experience, or they or know somebody in the business, so they're working around the system. Like there's always the way that traditionally new grads have gotten jobs. That way is definitely closing fast on them, and that
it
is because
is.
in part those entry level positions are absolutely the group that are being impacted right now.
It is. Yeah. No, that's true. Well, Leah, as always, always, even though I'm little bummed out right now, but hey,
Sorry about
that's
that.
no, no, no. But it's the reality of where we're at right now. And again, listen, we can always be the glass half full and know that there are going to be many other positions being created, but we're in a displacement era right now, big time, and that's only going to continue. But we hope you all keep listening to us. If you have thoughts, send them our way, and we hope you continue to get synced with the talent sync on all the different topics. But it's, the topic of AI recruiting, hiring, and life is gonna can be consuming us for a while. So, right, Leah?
I think it's permanent, even with the
Yep,
no body, they're still
yep,
here.
that's correct. And again, no AI was used in the cleaning of my teeth. So I'm really
Oh,
glad
whew.
I can keep saying that for now. All right, Lee, until next time, we'll see you all later.
Bye now.
Thank you for listening to the Talent Sync podcast, a Surveil Candy and Job Sync collaboration. More episodes soon. Subscribe to our podcast via your favorite podcast player today.